anyone who blocks my path.
The blood that flows through her veins is special, and extremely dangerous. If showing pity would put my allies in danger, I will not hesitate to kill them.
Oh, have I caught you off guard, Your Highness?
Hey everybody! Wow, I had a brief second of not being able to talk there for a second. That was awesome. Thank you very much for tuning in to another episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses. Last episode... I don't mean to bitch. I probably shouldn't be bitching before they even finish the scene. But my god, this was so transparent of random villager shows up wants to join the army. Which, you know what, I'm sure happens all the damn time. But they don't ever show any of it, so you knew instantly that this was going to be some critical moment. And of course it's going to be a critical moment where she tries to kill someone on our team. You're not going to have some random villager chick killing off Edelgard. That's going to go to Dimitri. So... yeah.
Aww, does it hurt? I bet it hurts real bad, doesn't it? But it's nothing compared to what my brother felt.
I am remembering now. I do remember a brief conversation where we saw her and her brother when her brother rode off to go finish off Dimitri in the ruins at the beginning of the future arc. So I did legitimately forget about that when we first saw her, but then at the end of last episode, like between recording that and this one, I remembered, oh yeah, okay, this is who this chick is. I also gotta take a, and I realize I'm just like nitpicking to death, but this scene is before she stabs. Why is she having this massive conversation before she stabs Dimitri?
You will never be forgiven, you know. I will never forgive you.
Who the fuck cares if you forgive him if you're about to kill him? The dead have no need of forgiveness.
You must be...
So is this after she stabs him? And they just, like, drew it wrong?
You filthy monster. It's time to die!
Dimitri!
Wait, what the actual fuck? So literally this whole thing was her just standing with a dagger behind him, and he could have just spun around at any point? Or hell... stepped away? It's a dagger, not a gun.
Professor! Do it now!
Wait. I'm there too? I can reverse fucking time, and I have a ranged sword. What the hell is this scene?
Brother, help me.
What did you think would happen?
Rodrigue! Your Highness, are you safe? Please tell me it wasn't in vain.
Okay, like, obviously, Rodrigue is probably going to die in this scene, because the scene makes no bloody sense otherwise, but... one, the way that scene was presented, there was no reason that Dimitri should have been in any danger at all. He's a highly trained and skilled warrior with an opponent who announced her presence like 5 minutes before she attacked. Adding to that, there's a freaking character that can reverse time like 3 steps away. What is going on with this scene? What? This is the dumbest I have seen this game. The game's writing and its characterization is actually really, really good, but this is just... I feel like this is the low point of what I've done. Like, I was already a little... because of what they did with Claude in this, where Claude allies with you, and then he comes with you to the Battle of the Eagle and Lion for no real reason, because, like, he wasn't allied with us, he wasn't attacking the Empire, he was consolidating his own forces. Why is he even here? And if he is here... like, they try and justify it with the, oh, well, the messengers didn't get through, you have no formal alliance. Then why the fuck is he here? And if he is here, why doesn't he just, like, especially the way I did that battle, he should have just been like, oh, okay, that they took care of it, let's go. Like, Dimitri actually comes at him and Claude's like, I'm not getting out of the way. Why are you not getting out of the way, Claude? Claude's characterization makes no sense in this battle. And then there's this thing. And I'm sorry to sit here and start bitching the second this episode starts, but it's actually been like the weekend since I recorded, I've had a lot of time to stew on just how annoying this particular section is turning out. And I didn't even know this scene was coming. I was already just annoyed at how the Battle of the Eagle and Lion was done. Because in Claude's arc, it made sense. Dimitri was kind of a ravenous, bloodthirsty beast that had to be put down for his own good. But this one, there's really... I mean, Claude shouldn't be at the battlefield at all. And if he is at the battlefield, he should be actively seeking to make an alliance.
This punishment, it was mine to bear. There are no sins or punishments on the battlefield.
Well, obviously there are. I mean, I guess not. You got killed on the battlefield. It's not like you got executed or punished.
No, don't die. Please, don't die.
Man, I wish there was someone around here who could reverse time and stop that from happening. Maybe next game.
Father, stepmother, Glenn, they all died and left me behind. Roderick, are you to join the ghosts who shadow my every move?
Oh, that's actually... Okay, as stupid as this setup is, I was actually thinking that this would just be... Because the big thing that we know that has to happen is that Dimitri has to get over this shit. Because it's like actively stymieing his growth. And so, as soon as I saw that Roderick jumped in, I was like, okay, this is probably going to... I actually thought Dedue coming back would bring him back, but it didn't. So, this is probably what will do it. But having Roderick speak to him as a envoy of the departed does at least make a lot more sense as to why he would finally stop being haunted by the past.
This is my fault. I'm the one who killed you, as surely as though I had wielded the blade. Your Highness, you have one thing terribly wrong. None of them, none of us, died for you. I'm dying for what I believe in, just as they did. Your life is your own. It belongs to no other, living or dead.
Yeah, because that's going to actually get through to him, because he's joining the ranks of the people who died in his service, and he's actually speaking for them right now.
Live for what you believe in. Dimitri, my boy, you really do look just like His Majesty. What are you saying, Lambert?
Wow, this is an odd flashback to have.
I am heading to Dusker, and before you start, nothing you could say would change my mind. You worry too much, my friend. So far, relations with Dusker have been going smoothly, wouldn't you say? You, of all people, should appreciate how critical these negotiations are.
Of course I do, but for the king himself to make the journey, you must admit that it's dangerous. And His Highness is still so young. If the worst should happen...
Even if the worst should happen, he would be okay. He's a smart boy, Rodrigue. Even if he should lose his father, I have no doubt that he will grow to be a good and respectable man.
Wow, it's very chilling that they're having this conversation when they think that nothing's going to happen. Like, that's a lot of detail.
Lambert.
However, if he ever starts down the wrong path, and I am not here to set him straight, I am trusting you to do so in my stead, old friend. Promise me.
Oh wow, Roderick's been doing a shitty job of that.
Lambert, my promise. What do you want?
Wait, are you leaving?
It doesn't concern you.
Stop acting like... It's funny how he lives his life in a devotion to people who are dead with no consideration for the ones who are actually here and care about him.
Get out of my way. No.
Why can't this be voice acted? You've only got 2 characters. Just voice act these lines.
You have no idea what you're talking about. Death is the end. No matter how much lingering regret a person has, after death, they are powerless.
They cannot even wish for revenge, much less seek it out. Hatred, regret. Those burdens fall on the shoulders of those who are left behind.
So is that it? He just wants to die so he doesn't have to deal with all of this hatred and regret?
And so I must continue down this path. I already told you as much. It is far too late to stop.
Yeah, I'm not even going to be like, oh, there should be no... No, you're flat out wrong, dude.
Do not waste your breath with some nonsense about how I should move on with my life for their sake. That is merely the logic of the living. It's meaningless. Those who died with lingering regret, they will not loose their hold on me so easily.
I really have to, like, with all of his princely upbringing, why does he not think that restoring the kingdom and taking care of the living is his responsibility? That's like his main responsibility.
But you seem to have all the answers. So tell me, Professor. Please tell me. How do I silence their desperate pleas? How do I save them?
You have to stop living your life for their sake. You have to start looking at the people that depend on you, not on the ideas of what should have been.
Ever since that day 9 years ago, I have lived only to avenge the fallen. Even my time at the Officers' Academy was also that I could secure my revenge and clear away the regret of the dead. It was the only thing that kept me alive. My only reason to keep moving forward. But then who or what should I live for?
Dude, you're a king. How can you be asking that question?
What I believe in. Rodrigue said the same thing. But is it possible?
I really like this, like how narrow they make his head in this shot, just to show the drizzle of the rain and how it's just making his hair plaster to his head.
I am a murderous monster. My hands are stained red. Could one such as I truly hope for such a life? As the sole survivor of that day, do I have the right to live for myself?
You didn't survive to give up on life. Like...
Your hands are so warm. Have they always been?
Well, that's a little creepy. All right. So, presumably and hopefully that means that Dimitri is back and able to work on his links. Because he frickin' needs to.
Part 2. Azure Moon. Harpstring Moon. The King's Triumphant Return. Following the death of Rodrigue, Dimitri begins to question his desire
Thank
for
God.
revenge. His troubled mind turns to the kingdom capital and how he might end the chaos plaguing Fargus once and for all.
Wow, the thing in the background seemed to have nothing to do with what he was talking about. That tapestry did not tie into this particular season. Other than the fire and the flames, that certainly does.
Our victory at Gronder was certainly a turning point for us.
Because we're turning our focus to the capital?
However, Rodrigue's death has been difficult to bear. We've lost considerable military strength and resources.
Unfortunately, with things as they are now, I don't think House Gautier has any resources to spare.
Yeah, because of the civil war going on in the kingdom.
I'm sorry. I really wish we could help. If only House Galatea had anything to give.
And it'd be great to be able to bring in the Federation forces, but we kind of picked a fight with them and beat up their army for no real reason.
If we split up the soldiers currently defending the monastery, we should have sufficient numbers to invade the Empire. But even then...
Your Highness, you should be resting. Your wounds are still healing.
I am well, I assure you. More importantly, may I have a moment of your time?
Yeah, this must be, because just the King's Triumphant Return tells me that we're going to the Kingdom now, which is what we've been saying we should do for the whole time.
Thank you. I wish to apologize to all of you. I have led you down this dark path with me, and have caused so much suffering along the way. I cannot tell you how sorry I am for my behavior. There is no apology I could offer that would be sufficient.
And how do you intend to make up for my father's death?
Okay, Felix, you definitely don't have the right to hold that as a pariah. You spent every second of your life bad-mouthing him and saying how much you hated him.
Felix, I realize words alone are not enough to repent, but I fear they are all I have.
I'm not after more empty words. I want you to speak through your actions.
I know that no amount of regret can ever bring back the lives we have lost. I know that well. It is like patching up a tear with a different material. Things can never be as they were. The best I can hope for is to make things whole again. I wish to do the right thing from now on. That is why I have made a decision.
All right.
I intend to take back the Kingdom Capital. I wish to save our people. Those who I turned my back on for far too long. To follow my heart and do the right thing. That is the only way I can atone for my sins.
I really like this. I don't know if this is Dimitri's theme or whatever theme this is. It's very, very appropriate to come in right here.
Your Highness. If we can win back Ferdiad, it will give us the advantage in our war against the Empire. As one who has served the royal family for ages, know that your words bring me great joy and pride. That said, I must point out that if we make for Ferdiad, the Emperor's head will slip further out of reach. Can you live with that?
I still hold hatred in my heart for her, and for the ones responsible for the tragedy. That I will carry with me until death. But my life is my own. It belongs to no one else, and it is high time that I started living for what I believe in.
All right, this is a turning point I can get behind, even though I obviously took some issue with the way it came about.
I will no longer allow the voices of the dead to bind me. This is something that I must do. No, something that I am choosing to do. I will accomplish my aim, even if it means risking my life to do so.
Understood, Your Highness. So, any objections?
Definitely not from me. Count me in.
You are correct. We cannot afford to die in vain by recklessly challenging the Empire.
I'm worried about Lady Rhea. But if this is the choice you've made, I support it.
I am at your command, Your Highness. I will follow you anywhere.
My sword is at your service, Your Highness.
And my bow!
I'll help too. The people in Ferdiad need us.
Fine, I'll help you, in my father's stead. But in return, you must win. You know that, don't you, Dimitri?
I do. And I swear on my father's lance that we will prevail.
Then it is decided. It seems this war council has much to discuss.
Yep, we have to, like, reroute all of our troops.
Our next stop is Ferdiad, the kingdom capital. For the future of Fargus.
Oh, I just realized that means that we're actually going to have a brand new map, because we never went to Ferdiad as the Golden Deer. They'd better not just reuse the freaking map of the Impenetrable Fortress. Oh, I'll be mad. Yes. Don't tell me to get out of your way again, I swear to God.
Sleep evades me, so I thought I'd get in some extra training. I was just about to finish.
That I could give. Yeah, I've definitely had some problems sleeping myself, and you just end up. You can't just lie in your bed. You end up having to do something to wear yourself out.
Perhaps it is the gloomy weather, but I am feeling the sting of wounds that should have healed long ago. The injury I got when that girl stabbed me after the battle at Gronder.
Okay, she did stab him. That scene's still so confusing. Like, I guess she stabbed him, drew the knife back, although in the image it wasn't bloody at all, which is what confused the hell out of me, and then made her little gloat speech and was going to go for the coup de grace. That must be what actually is supposed to have happened.
Her eyes were filled with revenge, just as mine once were.
You couldn't see her, she was behind you.
I don't know, but I have a guess. I suppose I haven't told you about that yet.
No, you haven't.
I was attacked inside the monastery the other day. It caused quite the uproar. The ones who attacked me were some of the youths we taught swordsmanship to once upon a time.
Really?
It seems they were raised by a group of thieves we put down 5 years ago. I heard Lady Rhea took custody of them, claiming that the children were innocent.
That definitely sounds like Rhea, and not entirely the wrong call.
I have taken so many lives, and with each one, I face hatred. During the last 5 years, especially. My life was not so different from that of a wild beast. And that young girl's brother. At some point, I must have... That is why I thought it only natural that someone would retaliate someday. Because I hated. Because I stole and... because I killed.
I am really liking Dimitri more than Claude as a character, even though his like edginess does seem to go a little bit overboard. It's still not as bad as Velvet. Velvet's just funny with hers, but he has a much more satisfying character arc. Claude is just kind of like bubbly and good-mannered and high-spirited the entire time. Nothing ever seems to happen with him.
But with those children, it's different. We drew our blades with the best of intentions, only to hurt them in the end. I suppose this is yet another thing we will just have to live with.
No, I do feel the same way.
Yes. As one who chose to fight, it is my responsibility to confront this anguish and the true nature of war. Until the day my life comes to an end.
Or war does. We just have to, like, undo war.
Thank you. You know, Professor, there is something that I only recently realized.
I'm awesome? I know.
I never knew it could be so comforting to have someone standing by my side.
Alright. Well, you guys darn well know we are exploring. Out of curiosity, are there any... Nope, still just Forgotten Hero. I didn't actually do these last time because I didn't feel much of a need to. I still don't necessarily know that I have a need to, because there's definitely... Like, we're very, very powerful. I haven't had to struggle in these missions yet, but I probably should do a round of it this time. Probably. So yeah, Dimitri is going to be like to do last time, where everybody wants to hang out with him. But in order to try and vary it up, we'll try and shift it around.
Your Highness, you still have scars on your back. It does you no good to languish in pain. I will procure some medicine.
Is that from the stabbing?
No, it is fine. Though they are still deep, these are from 9 years ago. They do not hurt any longer. And besides, it would be a shame if the scars I got from protecting you were to fade. I bear these scars proudly. It makes me think that it was worthwhile that someone like me survived.
To hear you say such things.
Dedu, you say that I saved you. But do you know that you also saved me that day?
I did not.
If I had been unable to save anyone, I would have been the sole survivor. I would have had no reason to keep living.
Interesting. Although, but based on what we know about him, that's very true.
But I saved someone. Saved you. That and that alone has always been my crutch.
When I stood before those soldiers and their swords that day, I was prepared to die. But then, you suddenly appeared, and you shielded me.
Oh, and the soldiers probably struck without... I still wonder how he survived, because they also killed the king, so it's not like, oh god, we attacked the prince, what do we do? Like, no, they were sitting on massacring everyone.
I knew then that a savior's hand could reach into even the deepest darkness. I still have not been able to repay that debt.
Have you not heard a word I've said? You have saved me in countless ways. 5 years ago, I did nothing but await my execution within my jail cell. Was it not you that saved me?
That was nothing more than my duty as your vassal.
Listen, Dedu, perhaps you consider me to be someone special.
Yeah, Dimitri definitely doesn't feel like it after the way he's lived his life
But I
lately.
think the same of you. You are irreplaceable, cherished. So stop saying that we cannot be friends. Stop saying such awful things.
Please, do not look at me that way. You promised me you would build a kingdom that is proud to boast of Dusker blood. In this kingdom, where there is no distinction between the people of Dusker and the people of Fodlan.
I definitely hope Dimitri can make that a reality.
Will I finally, without reservation, be able to call you my friend? Will I, Dimitri?
To do that is only up to you. Dimitri's been doing everything he can to be worthy of that title for his whole life. Okay, not his whole life. The last 5 years, a little bit, not so much.
Dedu. Yes, you will call me your friend again and again, no matter how many hardships I must endure.
I will do all I can to bring about that world as well. To be your friend is what I have always wanted.
Is that so? I am glad to hear it.
But until that time, we must allow no harm to befall you.
Do you think being his friend means that he's going to get hurt? Is that what you're getting at?
So please call upon me when you walk alone at night. And even when you go out in the day, please tell me where you are going and whom you are meeting.
In the end, I suppose there is no fixing your overprotectiveness, is there?
Well, apparently not, considering you don't even save yourself from a girl with a dagger.
I suppose I can live with that.
You living with it, that is literally the point. Lol.
Dutiful as ever, Dedu.
What are you suggesting?
Dutiful.
You're always busy delivering messages.
You mean His Highness's orders?
Does he need you to run such trivial errands?
He should not trouble himself over them. I am honored to attend His Highness, and to represent him in all matters.
This is kind of interesting and kind of like out of place, but it's still good.
Ever since he saved my life, serving him has given me reason to live.
Reason to live? Huh.
Your relationship to the Archbishop seems similar.
But she doesn't happily run around delivering Rhea's missives. That's what Cyril is for.
I joined the Knights to repay a debt I owed Rhea. The debt's been repaid, so she's nothing more than a former employer.
Then you are not motivated by loyalty.
Not especially. I wouldn't call Rhea my reason to live.
I'm glad to hear that, actually. That's creepy to me.
And if a higher-paying employer comes along?
I'd consider it. That's what mercenaries do.
Then yes, we are completely different.
Everyone's different. I'm not trying to criticize your loyalty. I've seen a lot of people like you all over the world. They don't tend to last very long, though. Try not to end up like them.
Thank you for the warning.
Yeah, those two are not peas in a pod, to say the least. Alright, Mercedes only has Dimitri.
Good evening, Dimitri. Have you come to pray?
Something like that. And you?
That's all she ever does. She's really boring.
Oh yes, that's why I'm here. I love how calm and peaceful the cathedral is this late at night.
It really is.
Coming here on a quiet night always makes me think of those who aren't with us anymore. We've lost so many in this war, too many to count. I hope they all get to live in eternal happiness at the goddess's side. These prayers are all I have to offer.
You are a kind soul, Mercedes.
I think you're kind too, Dimitri. Sometimes to a fault.
I'm sorry, I'm just like, Mercedes is so boring in so many of her things. I'm just like, okay, now we have this great thing where it's like, oh, hey, Mercedes is nice to people and she's religious.
Kind? Me? No, not at all. I am just a killer. A disgusting monster.
But why do you kill? For the sake of your loved ones? Those who have passed? Real monsters kill for selfish reasons. They're incapable of expressing sorrow when they kill.
That's a really interesting, like, observation that I hadn't thought of before.
So please, don't call yourself a monster.
Mercedes, I am scared. So scared that I will forget their faces. The people who have died, who I have killed. I cannot let myself forget them. I know that, and yet, whatever my feelings, it is all the act of a monster.
It's sad, but the truth is that people forget. You may be afraid to forget your past, but you'll never be able to revisit it. Living in the present is the best we can do. We owe it to those who can't come back.
Alright.
If someone had said those words to me 5 years ago, I would be a different man today.
Yeah, good job. Why didn't you get to A rank 5 years ago? Jeez.
What do you want to do now, Dimitri? Continue fighting for those who have died? Not as a king, but as my classmate. What do you want to do?
My own dreams. I have never given it any thought. What about you? What do you want, Mercedes?
I want to keep sewing and training with you, even after you've become king. I want to be your friend.
But I have no right to stand beside you.
Oh, shut up.
Please, I can't hear any more of this self-deprecation. I just want to be by your side. Is that so much to ask?
Mercedes, I want the same thing. If you allow it, I wish to stay by your side.
The sad thing I'm realizing is that when I get to the end of this game, whoever Mercedes ends up with, I want to feel sorry for.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who feels that way. Let's spend a little more time here together. Just the two of us.
Alright. And there are a lot more of these to go through. But we are at the end of this episode. I will see you next time when we go to Ingrid. And hey, look at that. Ingrid wants to talk to Dimitri. I do have to wonder. I'm actually curious. Will we get ones that aren't Dimitri? Like, we did get one with Shamir and Dedu. Wow, that's sad. Unfortunately, Gilbert and Dimitri are definitely not going to finish up. Yeah, no, it's just Dimitri. Every single one next time is going to be Dimitri. Ah, well, look forward to it.